hardcore kids wearing band T-shirts, and the kids here, they were like dressing up in like duct tape and wearing these Native American headdresses, and
yeah, that's weird.
they had these signs with their like area code, like 301, and like they had these crews. They were like crews, and they would wear like masks, like masks you would wear when you go when you spray paint.
Yeah,
And it was just like,
When you
what
spray
are
paint.
these people? I've never seen these kind of people before.
yeah, very eccentric type of people. That's the underground world of, I guess you could say the old club kids, the old ravers.
That's what I'm thinking. I've never experienced that kind of atmosphere before.
That's what they evolved into. I thought it was hipsters. I thought ravers evolved into hipsters, but
It
I
was
guess
weird
not.
because you had all walks of life there. You had very hippie-esque people. Like, it felt like I was in Woodstock in 2045. There was like hippies. You had your hipsters.
You know what topped it all off is if you actually seen somebody wearing Jinkos and a hoodie.
I don't know what those are.
Yeah, it's a wide. It was the '90s version of the bell bottoms. So
Oh, okay.
you know it was cool though. Well, like I said, trends tend to come back around, just like you kids did in the early 2000s with the tight skinny jeans. That was back in the '80s. Jagger and all them wore those on stage.
Yeah, and flannels started coming back. But like there was like hipsters, and there was hippies, then there was just like drug-induced. These kids must have been tripping on like LSD and stuff.
I could only imagine.
This one guy, like, I was with a group of friends, and we're like in a circle, and he just like breaks through the circle, and in his hand was a bag full of shrooms, and he just starts gnawing on them. He's like nom nom nom, and he like opens his mouth, and like all the shrooms are just like bleh. And I was like, what is going on?
Are you sure they were
was-
shrooms?
They look like mushrooms.
Oh wow, that's crazy, man.
I mean, I don't know if he just pulled them off his pizza or what, but it was an interesting 2 nights. It was a lot of fun. I'd probably go back again. They had this one cool thing called the silent disco, where you go in this tent, and they give you these headphones, and there's 3 DJs, and one's a blue DJ, one's a green DJ, and one's a red DJ, and you can change the channels on your headphones, and
Yeah,
they'll
that's
change to that
cool.
color. So you're just dancing to that DJ, and they're all right next to each other. That was
that
really
is cool. That is cool. Where was this at? Or where was
This
the
was
venue?
at the
What was the venue?
It was the Oklahoma Air Park.
Yeah,
The
Oklahoma City
downtown Air Park.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. What do you think about that venue? I know I've heard a lot of people like there's not enough shade, and if you want some relief, you got to go to the tent. I mean,
Well, lucky for me, when I got there, it was really hot, so I was like, oh, I should have wore sunscreen. But as soon as I got there, like a cold front came in, and we had the really
wow.
cool. I'll send some pictures on our Facebook of the clouds. They were really cool. I have this really good shot of these really dark clouds over the Devon building. But as soon as I got there, this cold
are
front
you
came
sure
in.
you didn't take any drugs? Talking about clouds,
Clouds,
now?
man,
I mean,
clouds.
You're like the clouds. They were moving.
They were. I mean, it was.
No.
And then it started to. It had a light, cold rain, and it just felt amazing.
Yeah,
and then the
I
second
bet.
day, it rained all in the morning, so it was all muddy. But I mean, it was cool. So it wasn't really. It was.
Did y'all have any mud people like at the last Woodstock and
Yeah, there was like people.
rolling in
I
the
saw
mud?
a guy dressed up like a wizard with a staff, and he had this big old top hat. I'm like, these people are scary. They're just bizarre.
You didn't make you want to dress up?
I didn't know what to expect when I
Man,
go
you
into this
should
thing.
have donned like some fairy wings and a halo.
There was people doing that. There's
I know.
people wearing like clothes made out of duct tape. There was
Yeah.
people having these like looks like these fur like bear. They look like the head of a bear on their head, and like they had these flappy long ears that went down to like their knees, and they would go doom, 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 and like dance to and like spin around. People were offering me drugs. They were offering me ecstasy. I said no.
You look traumatized, man. For real, dude. Like the way you're telling the story. Yeah, if you guys could see this, like I'm telling you, he looks traumatized. Like he experienced something that people shouldn't experience.
Well, the second day, I went to the front of the stage, right where all the bass amps were.
Yeah.
And this group called Zed's Dead, which is a big
oh, dude,
group.
awesome. I've heard them before.
I get there, right? I get to the front, and it's just like,
Yeah,
and it's just like
yeah.
the next day, I was vibrating still. It was just so much bass.
Yeah, I'm
Drop
telling
the
you,
bass.
it was.
And I was like, what is going on?
That's cool.
The light.
I'm glad that you got to share an experience that I lived through the '90s sharing.
Well, what's
right?
crazy too is I bought these sunglasses that diffracts light, so you can see
Yeah.
the color spectrum. So like tryptified all the lights. So
So you didn't need the drugs. You had the glasses.
I had these glasses. It was
awesome.
pretty
That's
much the same thing. So
awesome.
I'm wearing these glasses, and like, there's this group called Beats Antique.
Yeah.
They had like this belly dancer from like India on stage, and like all these little trippy color lights and pictures up on their big screens there, and I'm like, this is interesting. I kind of like this stuff. So it was like being high without being
That's
high.
cool. And without the hangover or the bad.
And that was the thing too. Beer was like $6.
Man, I wouldn't imagine that they serve beer there, because back in the day, the whole scene was anti-alcohol.
Yeah. This is the first year they've done it here, so they were just testing things out. But they had beer pretty much. They had like weird.
Did you see anybody getting carted off like OD or what do they
Surprisingly,
call it?
when we
Heat stroke or
we
anything?
got in there, like you walk in and they patted you down and they asked your ID and you got a little like band so you could drink. But after that, there was like no security inside the entire place.
Oh, wow, that's
we
cool.
were
So
seeing
it was like a
we
safe
were
haven.
seeing people like do illegal substances out in the open. And I was like, well, I mean, it's a music festival. What can you do? Because you see it everywhere when you.
Yeah, I've been to plenty of concerts where you could definitely smell some herb in the air.
Like you go to Norman Music Festival, or like I went to Center of the Universe in Tulsa this summer. I mean, you smell it, you know what's happening, and you're fine with it. You know, it's part of the atmosphere.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of some of the like what makes the awesome concert experience an awesome concert experience. You know.
Overall, though, so much fun. But yeah. Some real quick things going around school. We got OU volleyball starts its home opener. It's starting the Nike Invitational tonight at 6. Are you working that game today?
The volleyball?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, actually I am. I'm going to be directing the big screen.
Oh, cool. I'll be one of the camera operators.
That'd be cool. You guys make sure to come out there and check it out. The school events around campus.
Yeah, they're
There's a lot of
playing.
them.
They're playing an invitational, so they're playing today, tomorrow, Friday, and Saturday. So all the rest of this week, they'll be playing. Go on their website. You can find out the game times. Well, tonight it's at 6. They're playing Cal State Northridge.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but is volleyball one of the sports where it's free for students with their ID?
I believe so. Yeah, it's one of the free for students. So if you are
Make sure to look into that first before you can show up there, because neither one of us had the information directly in front of us.
And another thing too, we never really ever actually go to the games because we're always working them. So we have to
it's
go
better
in
to
for
get
free.
paid to go there than to pay to go there.
Always. This Saturday as well at 7 o'clock is OU's second home game. We're playing the Tennessee Volunteers. So I believe we're going to stripe the field or stripe the stadium crimson and cream. I think they're going to have T-shirts out for everybody. So we're going to be working that as well. And, we're gonna, in a few minutes, we're going to have super awesome, mega awesome, crazy awesome Audra Elizabeth Yenny on the show.
Yes, she's already here. She's looking like she's ready to get to going. But right before that, we'll have the news, a little bit of free pot for the poor people. Colander could be the new fad, and drive-in brothels. That could be in the works somewhere, too.
Really?
So, all that and more. You're listening to This and That on The Wire.
It's a little bit of the Black Keys. I've Got Mine. It's a really good song. I used to cover that song a lot. You're listening to This and That on The Wire. Jer, how you doing?
I'm doing ready for some news. How about you?
I heard some news. Drive-in brothels really caught my attention.
Man, you like those teasers? I do.
You're
That's
pretty good
really
at doing that. I mean, you get me excited.
Yeah, well, that's the whole purpose, to get you excited.
Oh, okay. Okay.
In the studio we have right now with us Audra Yenny.
What's up, Audra?
Not a whole lot, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I figure we'll bring you in for the news and let us. That way, you can hear our news, because I'm pretty sure you're interested in the drive-through brothels.
That's all I care about.
Okay, well, first in the news, in Berkeley, California, the city council has unanimously approved a measure that would mandate the dispensaries within that city's boundaries to donate 2% of their weed to low-income patients for free medical Mary Jane. The free medical Mary Jane would be dispensed to patients who make less than $32,000 a year. The new program is set to launch in August of 2015. However, most dispensaries claim that this shouldn't be a problem, seeing how they set aside about that much for low-income patients already. What do you think about that?
I think it's a cool initiative that if they are going to have the medical Mary Jane as you've got it, to have stuff for people who need it, for like cancer patients and everything, for medical purposes that can't afford it.
It's like that pay it forward thing they do at coffee shops, where you can buy like 2 coffees, and then if a homeless person comes in, they get 1.
Oh yeah, I always thought that was kind of neat, but I don't drink coffee, so.
Me neither. Anti-coffee all
Exactly.
the way. Coffee. It's a tool of the man.
I used to. I mean, like, I'm addicted to caffeine. Like, I actually, not soda or anything. It's just the caffeine. I got to have my caffeine. And
Well, did you hear also what's happening in Philly? They're making, like, the crime of having marijuana on you, like, a $25 fine rather than, like, serious, like, crime.
Yeah, because if you look at the prisons, they're just loaded with people that are nonviolent offenders.
Like, in this state, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I've only heard this from a documentary, but you can get 5 years for just having, like, 1 blunt on you in this state.
It depends on how much is in that blunt. Yeah.
Maybe there was a little more to your concert experience than you let on.
You're having the after effects of sober concert experience.
Drop the bass.
No.
It just makes me wonder, though, with this program that's starting in Berkeley, how much exactly is... I mean, okay, what they're setting aside is obviously some sort of tax break, because if businesses give away a certain amount and donate it, well, then they can claim that as taxes. How is that truly going to affect the dispensaries,
Well, it's like Colorado. They're making so much money off all that. Everybody wants a little piece of that cake.
I can't wait till next year about this time when the numbers are in and finalized, and we can show the other states that just exactly... Or they can show the other states just exactly, what's going on with it fiscally.
Yeah, and I took a lot of criminology classes when I did go to this lovely institution here, and like you were saying before, the prisons are overpopulated, and a lot of it, are these drug offenders, and they're in there for these super long sentences, right next to these super violent offenders.
Exactly.
They have these drug rehabilitation programs, if that's even a necessary thing. And that could be saving so much more money, taxpayer-wise, government-wise. And, it keeps people from getting institutionalized. So when they get out on the street, they can still function as a positive individual in society.
Do you think that our, like, for-profit penitentiaries and stuff, like our private ones, have anything to do with that?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, everyone's trying to, to get a little money here and there. And, if they can pack more people into those prisons, and that adds to the money that they're getting to take home, if that's their main goal, I don't think they're necessarily looking out for, Joe Blow who's smoking a blunt over there.
Yeah.
And when I went to Rose State, I took a sociology class, and the head professor of sociology, he had a book, and I had to use it for my textbook. And apparently... inmates they're better off. They have health care and better food than most students that go to like elementary schools and things like that. It costs like $12,000 to incarcerate one person in tax-paying money.
Okay, I know of a case personally of an individual who was in prison for drugs. It was a little bit harder than marijuana, but he was in prison.
Yeah.
He served his time while he was in there. He was told that he had diabetes, and him being an older gentleman, they didn't inform him what diabetes was. They didn't give him a class. They didn't send him to anything. They just, every day, here's your medicine for your diabetes. Take it every day. He ended up losing, he gets out, right? Well, he don't know nothing about diabetes. So he goes back to working and everything. And he ends up losing, like, his toes almost on one whole foot and some on the other. And it's because he was never told. And the doctor said, well, okay, well, don't you know you got diabetes, right? He said, yeah. He's like, but what does that mean? He said, what do you mean, what does that mean? He's like, don't you know? So they sent him to classes, educated him and everything, something that the prison system didn't do. And then they start telling him, you need this medicine, you have to buy this. So he takes his prescriptions, goes to he's paying more in medicine than his parole fees, than his rent, and his bills combined, just for the medicine. What else did he have to do, man? I mean, but turn back to selling drugs and making drugs. It was one of those things where he got caught up in the system. And I had corresponded with a guy. he said, it was a better option for him to go back.
Yeah, there are a number of
and
people
stay in there
who
because he couldn't afford the medicine.
Yeah, they get out of
couldn't.
prison and they just can't deal with regular life, and they don't have a place to stay. They don't have those steady meals, and so they just go back in, and it's.
And that's what he said. He said it's cheaper for him because the state pays for his medicine, and he's okay with it. He said I get 3 square meals. I don't have to pay rent.
Yeah.
I still get to work. He said because it's mandatory. We have to do these things. So it's one of those things. Do these drug laws really benefit the masses, or do they benefit certain people?
Especially if it's a 3-strike thing and you get caught with like marijuana, and you're going to be stuck in for life for that. If you have 3 times, I mean.
Yeah. Well, the 3-strike works different in different states, but like California, yes. Luckily they decriminalized it, and they're giving it to people who, just like diabetics who can't afford the medicine, can receive the medical marijuana for free.
And I've heard of cases where people will find really small crimes that give them 6 months in jail, just so they can stay in jail during the winter months. Like there used to be this whole thing in New York where they would intentionally break the law so they could have warm beds, warm meals, dentists, all that in jail when it was cold outside. Because you don't want to be homeless in the freezing cold. There was a
story I read in the paper, the Oklahoma newspaper. I'm not for sure which one it was, or what it's called now, but they did an article over. They spoke with this judge, and they asked him that question: do you see an influx? He said, "Well, actually, we see a couple of repeaters every November when it starts getting too cold on the streets. The couple of the destitute people, the homeless around Oklahoma City, will intentionally go commit a crime." And it's because they know by the time they get their court date in January and in February and they get sentenced, they already get their time served and they're back out on the street and they had somewhere warm to go for the winter.
It's almost ironic for all of that. Whereas the inmates, they get better care than a lot of people.
What we are providing to people who need it, on
and that's the loophole, But speaking of loopholes, I don't know if you guys heard this one, but colander, somebody used a loophole to
I saw this.
Use a colander as a religious headpiece.
Yep.
In Enid, Oklahoma, Shauna Hammond donned a spaghetti strainer in her Oklahoma state driver's license as a symbol of freedom. That's what she called it. According to the Oklahoma Department of Public Safety rules, religious headpieces cannot cause shadows on your face, and the photograph must present a clear view of your face. She simply asked the tag agent worker if she could wear her religious headwear, and the tag agent said yes. Yes, you could. It just couldn't have any logos or any type of writing. So she told him it didn't. Went out to her car, got her unique headwear, donned it on the photograph, and now I'll post some pictures right now on our Facebook page. So all you people that are listening, make sure you go over there, like it. Check out the pictures. It's not just her. There's a whole sect of people that have done this too. You can see her picture as well as some other examples. She claims to be a Pastafarian.
The flying spaghetti monster.
Yes.
I've never heard of this before.
Oh, really?
Enlighten me, please.
It started out in Kansas. I'm not for sure the guy, and I don't know the facts, so I don't want to, but just roundabout. It was a atheist who is basically using religious freedom. As using the created this that said, if there's a God, but then there's the possibility that there's a flying spaghetti monster who dictates what we do. Both are equal. I'm not trying to start a debate or anything here on the radio, but that was the gist behind this flying spaghetti monster.
So he intentionally created a religion.
Well, it's not really a religion. It's not really a sect of people. It's just people who are anti-organized religion and want to express those rights that religious people have too.
I get it.
So there's a lot of atheists out there, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some comments or something, Twitter feedback or whatnot, that says, well, she's an atheist, well, then she wouldn't have religious hair. No, it was just her exercising her freedom.
Her religious,
I get it.
Right, and
I love this country because of that.
Well, yeah, but science, postulates that there are an infinite amount of universes with, an infinite amount of possibilities. So maybe in one of those universes, there is really a flying spaghetti monster.
Do you think they have spaghetti in other universes?
I would hope so.
What if there's one without Italy?
You don't have to have Italy to have pasta. If there's an
pretty
infinite,
sure.
if there's an infinite amount of universes and an infinite amount of possibilities in the flying spaghetti monster universe, they may not need Italy. It may
Okay,
just
it would
fall
be
from
like
the
a
sky.
penne monster.
Maybe Sicilian.
Thank you.
But again, that's why I like America. I mean, the ability that you can have this, that you can.
I feel like the pulling the colander, as religious headwear, I think that's a little much, though. I mean, if they, it's just that seemed like someone was trolling the tag agent, and it worked.
And it does fall under the guidelines for having religious headdress, religious headwear. She claims the colander represents the religious freedom or lack thereof. The officials say that they want to do a thorough review of the picture to make sure it is following all the rules. And if it does follow the rules, authorities say they may look at changing the rule of religious headwear because that rule is more than 10 years old.
Because I feel like the purpose of the law is for the people who are wearing yarmulke. Oh, sorry, wearing yarmulkes or like burqas or things like that they wear every day. But to accommodate the people who do not take it off.
Well, what if the flying spaghetti monster religion says that that's a religious piece that in photos?
Well, that's a different
official,
story, and it may say that.
Well, I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah.
She has the right to do it.
She does.
If the people wearing the skull caps and whatnot, I forgot the kufi caps and the yarmulkes and the different sects of people that wear caps. I mean, don't she have a right to put a colander on?
She does have a right if that's. I think if it says, I'd be interested to look and see if it does say, wear a colander. This is part of our, religion. I think
does it have to be organized?
Well, it doesn't have to be organized. She can believe in whatever she wants, but then you also get the people who believe that if they're, they have to wear tin hats on their heads to, keep the aliens away.
What about you, Kiki? You think they're just making a mockery of religion?
I just want pasta now. I could really go for some spaghetti.
All right, holler at that girl walking by, see if she'll get us some Sbarros.
Oh, Sbarros.
They're making I believe an Italian restaurant on Campus Corner. The really big building.
I heard about that.
Is it next to Blackbird?
No,
it's a new one being built.
It's next to the deli. It's got like 3 stories high.
The top.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
The top's going to be a club or something too. Like that building's supposed to be like a couple things.
Huh. Now let's hear about the brothels.
Not that I'm
an advocator for brothels or anything.
Well, that's how I was kind of feeding into this, how the laws and stuff, do they really benefit us? Do they really benefit society? But apparently in Austria, they're trying to make their laws benefit the people who are affected by problemsome, let's say, women workers of the night.
Professionals. You can call them that.
Yeah.
City officials in Vienna, Austria, are considering sanctioning drive-in brothels. These brothels will have sex boxes. That's what they call them, quote, sex boxes, to get the working ladies off the street corner. They've had problems with the neighborhood not wanting them on the streets and whatnot.
And a little background information for those of you who aren't aware. In Europe, and most countries in Europe, prostitution is actually a tax-paying job.
Yeah,
you actually go get health checks once a month. You pay taxes for it. I remember when I went to Germany a few years ago, we would take tours and we would learn about this kind of stuff because it's a little foreign to Americans. But they would have like these kind of brothel-like places where you go and you
do your
thing. But
well, the Vienna City Councilor Sandra Fronberg said, and it's cool because it's a woman. It's not just a guy trying to, promote prostitution. But she said she wants the city to consider a model similar to the drive-in, the sex drive-in in Zurich, Switzerland, which already, as a means of addressing the complaints of legally operating prostitutes within Vienna. Zurich first introduced its first drive-in, whatever.
Words are hard. It's
in August of 13, to provide a safe place for the city's prostitutes to ply their trade in wooden sex boxes. Now, the brothels only require that the prostitutes obtain permits and pay taxes, just like you said.
Yep.
I just feel so bad. So my dad's listening. He's
He's on his way to Zurich.
Oh, I got a splinter.
Yeah.
Damn wood boxes.
Sorry, Daddy.
Well, it's interesting news all across the
Oh,
land,
it is
man.
interesting.
From our own backyard in Enid to California, all the way to sex boxes
In
in
Austria.
Zurich. Yeah.
Thanks, Jeremy.
People are giving us weird looks as they walk by. What are they talking about?
Yeah, there's a line starting. This isn't a sex box, people.
All right, we're
no,
done with
no,
news.
it's not.
We're here with Audra. Audra likes to go by Audra Elizabeth for your music. Is that correct?
Yeah, so my full name's Audra Elizabeth Yenny, and when I just tell people my name's Audra Yenny, I always have to spell one or both, or they think that my first name's Audrey, and so I've done it my entire life, so I've just decided, I'll just go by Audra Elizabeth.
So we met you when me and Jeremy used to go to O'Connell's a lot.
Frequent a lot.
We were
Yep.
frequent visitors to
I
O'Connell's.
basically had an O'Connell's bill. I mean, like I had one credit card, and basically that was the only thing that was on it.
Yeah, we went. I think I went 9 days in a row once.
I remember when I first met him, and if any of y'all have seen him, he's got this big beard, and you look at him.
It was bigger.
And it was the first time I'd ever met him, and then one day he came in and he'd shaved it because he had to take a license picture. I almost didn't recognize him. He looked
She
a little
tried to
12-ish.
ID him. No.
I probably would have.
The reason I did that is because the last time I took a picture with a beard for my driver's license, it was like a terrible idea. I actually had a soul patch that was like the shape of a rectangle and like a mustache. It was like so orange. I'm like, I can't do this again. People laugh at it. But
That's
yeah, we met
really
Audra. She's a waitress at O'Connell's.
Well, I mean, I am still now, but I'm now the trainer over
and
there.
you've been
so.
doing some bartending over
I
there.
actually
as well.
seen her training
On
yesterday,
occasional.
so I can attest to that.
Oh yeah, Jeremy walked by yesterday as training
walked
one of our
in-
new bartenders.
I walked in to kind of go over some of the show notes with you, but
Oh.
she was busy, so I carried on and peeked my head in the window as she was training.
So she would talk to us from time to time, and she's like, "Hey, you should listen to our music," and we're like, super cool music."
And I'm telling you, you see the girl, and you just wouldn't picture this style of music coming out of her, but it is awesome, man. I mean, like it's totally head turning.
Oh, thank you.
What would you define
love
it
it, dude.
as?
I have trouble defining it but like folk and
See, at first that's what I was gonna
it's
say.
folky, but
But
it's
it's
not
not.
just folk.
Exactly.
And some of it's like I've been watching a lot of the show called Hell on Wheels,
Yeah.
and it's about like this old frontier, and they're like building the the railroad, and so a lot of some of the newer stuff that I've written is very like rawhide-esque, and I actually just started a fuller band, and on
Thanks for the
Monday
invite.
night.
Thanks for the invite
Jeremy,
for
I'm
that.
sorry. Or Keegan, I'm sorry.
I was supposed to be your drummer.
I was supposed to play the electric triangle.
Jeremy plays a great electric triangle, but I got to hear it with drums for the first time
Yeah.
on Monday, and
Yeah.
that was just such a surreal, like crazy experience that like I can't actually believe that I get to do this and people want to listen and want to be a part of it, and I know it sounds cheesy, but I just feel so blessed that I get to do something that I love.
Hey, we'll continue sending the links to your events and stuff, and we will definitely post it to our Facebook. Make sure all the listeners out there like our Facebook page, man, because we're trying to get 100 likes. We're up to 95.
95.
Oh yeah, guys, we can 5
Exactly.
likes.
Mr.
That's
Mr. Yenny, if you're listening, please like our Facebook page.
yeah, Dad. If you could just go ahead and click that like, just go to my Facebook page and there's a link. It's
And
real
if,
easy.
if my father's listening, Dad, go make a Facebook page to go like our Facebook page.
Or Uncle Guy, my uncle's also listening. He's actually the one who gave me the guitar that I first started playing on.
Oh, that's cool.
And so I have a lot. A lot of this is thanks to him. He actually, found this guitar at some garage sale, several decades ago. And when I was 14, it had just been sitting in one of their closets. He gave it to me, I think as a birthday present, and I kind of just started fiddling around with it. And then about a year ago, I was like, hey, I'm going to write some music and start playing songs in front of people.
And you've done a good job at it, because, I mean, like, again, the first show you invited me to, it was totally awesome. It threw me. It
Was that
What was
Norman
the
Music
first show? Was it
Festival?
Norman Music
Was it at
Festival?
Yes, it
McNally's?
was. It was up at McNally's.
That was an interesting show. It
Interesting
was
night.
Yes, it was. But it was the literal definition of the show must go on. Like I had just I'd recently gotten a new guitar. Oh, hey, I know that kid. I'd recently gotten a new guitar, and it was built to have like a plug-in, and I was always used to having just the guitar that I was used to playing on is like 50 years old, and so I didn't realize that these new guitars have batteries. I know that sounds silly, but my battery died. There was something wrong with the cord. There was a Thunder game on. There was just so many different things, but it was so exciting to get to play Norman Music Fest, just in general, and I absolutely loved it.
And we had a blast afterwards. We hung out.
We did.
Oh yeah,
So
got to meet Steven.
Yeah,
Steven
my
awesome,
lovely Steven.
You're awesome man, dude. He is cool.
I like him.
We brought you guys out to Red Hawks game too.
Oh yeah, we went to a Red Hawks game, and that was, he loves baseball, and so he was so excited, and Keegan actually got him one of the game balls, and he was just like a little kid, and to say he's a little kid, guys, I have to let you know, he's 6'5".
He's huge.
He's a very
He's
large,
a big kid.
I love him to death. He's a big guy, and that's one of the
cool,
reasons
though.
why I was
don't
like,
want to
hey,
fight
Steven, you rock.
Steven, like our Facebook page.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
Steven,
should-
go like our Facebook page.
Yeah, you should have came here with her.
Yeah, he's working, and I was like,
Oh,
you need to
man,
listen to
who
the
does
radio.
that?
I know.
Go back to school. Be a 35-year-old non-traditional student like me.
It's okay. I'm.
No, he just graduated from here, didn't he?
He's got to get his capstone, but yeah.
But it's pretty much done.
Oh
So,
yeah, it's pretty much done. We just got to pay the bursar bill and then finish it off.
Yeah, I think that a lot of people's in that boat.
That's yeah. I actually have one credit or one thing that I have left to take, and it's I have to take my lab science. I've literally taken every other class. I've taken my capstone. It physically pains me to think about sitting in a science. It's just I'm not good at it.
It's always that one class. There's always that one class, and you're like, I don't want to do this, but I have to.
And I can actually clep out of it, but like you give me, soft science, so, psychology, sociology, even how the brain, like the science of how the brain works in association with psychology. That's great. But you ask me to do any other sciencey things, and it just makes me want to pull my hair out.
Real talk.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, where are you from? I don't really know where you're from.
I'm actually from a place called Plano, Texas. Much
I'm
I'm sure
sorry.
Just plain
you
old Texas.
Plano, Texas. And I actually came up to Oklahoma. I originally went to Oklahoma City University for cello performance.
You play the cello?
I do. Yeah.
You learn something new every day. I know
do
you play
play
the cello.
Yeah, and I that's how I got up to Oklahoma, because I wanted to be a part of their music school. And then I didn't like the feel of it. I mean, it's a great school, and I made some great friends, but it wasn't for me at the time. And then when I wasn't going to a private school for the because it is a private school for performing arts, I just decided it made more sense to come to OU. And I love Norman. And
Well,
I
OU's
love
a
the
great school.
Oh, it's such a
mean,
great school.
I would even call it like an experience. I mean, it
really is.
I mean, it's not. I mean, you learn stuff. You get your degree. You meet a lot of great people here. There's
do.
so many things to do. So many ways to get involved on campus.
It was so different. I mean, I met so many like rowers, or I got to when just looking through the class schedule, I was like, there's so many classes to choose from. I was just like this. I super nerded out because there were just so many more options, and that was something that I really appreciated.
Yeah, like all three of us, we were all transfer students from one school to another, so we were never here for the full fledge of it all.
I don't know if I could survive the full.
I'm looking at the kids now.
I know, and I'm like, how do
I
you
say
do
to
it?
myself, thank God I didn't have to be here as a freshman. I'm glad me and Jeremy were at where we were.
No, don't get me wrong. I think being a freshman is part of the experience. Living in the dorms.
I wouldn't have made it.
I
know I wouldn't have made it,
dude.
though.
Living in the dorms is something I think everybody has to experience.
I lived
that
in
and moving
dorms.
away from where you.
Well,
grew up.
yeah, but I lived in dorms. But the dorms that I lived in, it's hard to really call them college dorms, because I had my own bedroom, and it was about the size of the freshman dorms now, and so it wasn't that normal freshman experience. But you're right. I don't know that I could have made it through that first week, because I get overwhelmed like on game day with so many people. There's just
everywhere.
And
it used to be that much more of a madhouse. I mean,
it stresses me out. I'm getting stressed out right now just thinking about it.
There's gonna be more people like the next few years, because they're adding more seats to the stadium.
dude,
I know.
Yeah.
Like, it's so exciting, and I love it, and if I go and I sit in one of the like paid seats, or just not student section, like I can sit anywhere else, but I just can't handle the student section.
Oh yeah.
Again, I understand like it's the energy and the excitement, but I feel like a sardine in a can, and it just like makes I get really.
It's like crowd
tense.
surfing in a giant crowd at a
crowd
music
surfing's
festival,
bad.
an electronic dance music festival.
No, I got my first
With
concussion crowd
mushrooms and
surfing.
ecstasy. No.
You got to be careful. They threw me into a hole.
They threw you. What?
Yeah, I was crowd surfing. I was 16. I was at Edgefest down in Dallas.
No, you got to watch out when you crowd surf because if they throw you towards a group of girls, it's a hole.
There's like soft spots everywhere. You got to find all the guys.
What it was is I think they pushed me. They were crowd surfing me towards the stage instead of away from it. So people like they weren't paying attention to what was like behind them, and so.
Well, you're supposed to start in the front and then go back.
I'm not the one pushing me.
I've never done that way.
But literally, I'm up for like 5 seconds, and then the next thing I know, the sky's a lot farther away than it was. And then the next morning, I walked into the garage door as it was going up, and my mom was like, "We should probably take you to the doctor."
You're like 2 inches smaller now. Got dropped.
Yeah, your left knee is now 3 inches shorter than your right. You're gonna be...
That kind of sounds like Steven, if you ever watch him hobble.
So, when we come back, we're gonna have Audra play us a little ditty.
Yeah,
really
we're gonna have her play her music, and we'll see what's going on with that. But right now, time for the weather. Today it's going to be a high of 90, a low of 60, with 20% chance of precip, with winds out of the northwest at 16 miles per hour. Thursday it'll be a high of 79, low of 61. Friday it will have a better chance for rain, more of a 40% chance with a high of 63. Should be a nice day other than the rain, with a low of 50. Saturday and Sunday looks like we'll have highs in the 70s, starting at the low, working its way up Sunday, and 0% of precip with little clouds. So you're listening to This and That on The Wire.
Nothing like some Weezer to kick off the morning. Hello, everybody. This is Keegan Mean, along with me, Jeremy Deere. Welcome back to This and That. We play every Wednesday morning from 9 to 11 Central Standard Time because we live in the heart of America, Oklahoma. You can listen to us on The Wire by going online to wire.ou.edu. You can also listen on livestream.com/TheWireOU. There's a lot of information, so hopefully you're writing this down. You can also download the TuneIn Radio app on your Google or your iOS device. That's what we would prefer you probably listen to us on. It's a cool app, radio. You can listen to local radio, internet radio. You can find us there. If you go to local radio, if you're in the state of Oklahoma, go down to where it says internet only, and we should be the first one there. If you want to call in, our number is 405-325-WIRE, 405-325-WIRE. And we would really love if you are listening to like our Facebook page, This and That, at facebook.com/This and That Wire. Not and, but N. We have also a Twitter, which is at This and That Wire, and we are also an email address known as thisandthatwire@gmail.com. If you're a musician or in a band in Oklahoma City Metro and you are interested in being on the show, let us know. You can hit us up. We can always looking for talented musicians to provide us insight on the local music scene. And plus, we're big advocators of local music, so please let us know, tell your friends, and keep on rocking.
Yeah, you can also catch me on my Twitter feed at JIV3, and you can catch Keegan
At Mina, which is a little hard to spell, so I'll have to spell it out for you. At MEENAGH. That again is MEENAGH. I have a weird
and
last name.
Audra, do you have a Twitter?
I do. I have. I think it's Audra EY. I'll have to check. So let me actually get back to you on that one.
They can find it through Facebook, though, right? Through your Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'll post it on my.
We have
Facebook.
links on our Facebook page where you can listen to Audra's music, her Bandcamp, as well as her Facebook.
Yeah, my Facebook page is going to be the one that's got more information. Because Twitter, I feel like I'm such an old fart because Twitter still confuses me, so I use Facebook more. And then that Bandcamp link is where you can buy my first album.
So what song are you going to play for us?
So I'm actually going to play a song called Ophelia Green. Sorry, I'm not playing the beard song.
She has a cool beard about beards.
I know.
This
I like
cool
the
beard
beard
about.
song.
This cool song about beards.
I do have a song about beards, but the one I'm going to play for you, it's called Ophelia Green, and it's actually going to be on my next album whenever I start recording it.
Alrighty, well, whenever you're ready, take it
whenever
away.
you're ready, take it away.
All right, here we go. Ophelia Green was a girl of your dreams, with eyes of summer blue. Her hair fell like sunshine, her smile sweet like pink wine. Ophelia Green, won't you please come home? One day she heard the wind whisper her name, Ophelia, come away. The scent of adventure, a world full of somewheres, said her goodbyes and was on her way. Ophelia Green swam the depths of the sea and climbed to the top of the sky. She laughed and she loved and she fought and she cried. Ophelia Green found her time to come home. Ophelia Green lived to 103, with tales that stretched for miles. When her last adventure met her at her doorway, Ophelia Green met it with a smile. Ophelia Green met it with a smile. Ophelia Green was a girl of your dreams, with eyes of summer blue. Her hair fell like sunshine, her smile sweet like pink wine. Ophelia Green found her place to call home. Ophelia Green found her place to call home.
There you go. That was Audra Yenny, people.
Thank you, guys. I love that song.
Yeah, that's one of that's a good one. I
And
like
that's
it.
called
you.
Ophelia.
Ophelia Green.
Ophelia Green. So, are you having any shows playing in the Norman area anytime soon?
I do. On Friday, I'm playing at McNally's here in Norman for the second Friday Art Walk over on Main Street, and then Saturday at 4 and Tuesday at 6, I'm playing at the State Fair at the Beer and Wine Garden.
Oh, you're going to be at the State Fair?
Yeah, I'm really excited for
Ooh.
that.
That's coming up, isn't it? When is
Yeah,
that?
it actually starts today, I believe, right?
What?
And I'm really excited because the only time I really
it's
go to the
tomorrow.
fairs is
Look it up.
to eat all of the food. And we did this last year. It's the first time I ever went, and so now I get to go in and play.
I
and then
remember
eat.
one year at the fair, they had an A1 truck, and they had literally steak. They were grilling. It was like one big grill, and then they were seasoning it with different A1s, and they had these little cups. Well, they weren't little. They were like big souffle cups. And they had them lined up, and we went over there, and we ate one. And this is when we were poor, broke kids, and we really were sneaking into the fair and just to eat.
Yeah.
Since we found that truck, we went back every single day, snuck in the fair, and ate because they let you have as many as you wanted. So we were eating
Ooh.
steak as.
Yeah, Steven and I went,
kids.
and when
cool.
we walked in, there was a sign this past year that was talking about one of the food trucks that had all these different things on a stick that were wrapped in bacon and had like stuffed cheese and
bacon.
everything.
You got me there.
But it was a very like specific. It wasn't like the normal things that are just get like wrapped in bacon. And so I literally made poor Steven just walk around that entire fair until we found it. And we'd almost given up because we'd been there for a few hours and we're eating all these other great things. We're still happy, but like I was on a mission. And we finally found it, and it was so good. It just made me so happy.
If you find that truck or whatever, make sure you put a little pinpoint and send me it to me, like a waypoint.
I can do that.
Because this year I haven't been out to the fair in a while, but this year I think I'm gonna make my way out there, if only
If only
to hear you
me.
play.
Well, so Saturday we'll probably just go and play because Steven wants to watch the game, and I'm excited that he's actually coming and missing some of the other games. But Tuesday I'm gonna play at 6, and then 7 and on the food trucks should be prepared. And it
sounds so good.
It's gonna be so good.
I still want pasta. Yeah, I'm thinking about bacon and chocolate, and when you mentioned State Fair, I forgot Kansas is playing at this State Fair.
Yeah, and we actually got a mutual friend who's playing out there, I believe, right? Isn't Eric Sinners playing?
Oh,
Burn
yeah,
Band?
Burn Band. Oh, the guy that I was waving at.
Yeah.
That's his bassist.
Oh, wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I have yet to see them. I graduated with them, me and
that's
my
right, I
fiance, so
forgot.
I've known him since he was a younger guy, and
Oh, yeah.
I let's say I knew him because our school was so big. I mean, like, even my fiance
yeah.
I graduated with, we hardly ever saw each other in school because it was so big. But he's an awesome guy.
Their band, it's called Burn Band.
We'll have to get him on here.
Oh, yeah,
sometime.
definitely, for sure. They're such talented
I
guys,
think
and
he graduated from here too.
you'll be hard-pressed to find nicer people.
Oh, yeah. I just haven't made it out to any of their shows. He's always inviting me, and I keep telling my fiance that.
We gotta go.
Yeah, I'm like, you gotta
Hey,
let
you
me.
keep telling me about this. Because I remember that name. You're like, yeah, we gotta go see this band. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, actually, I shared it. I think his last event or maybe his next event. I'm not really sure on our Facebook page. Which, if you have a chance, go visit and click like.
We got 2 likes over
Hey,
this
we're up
over
to
the show.
97.
We're making
Great.
places.
And
Man.
it's so interesting. They used to have a drummer who's an amazing drummer, but he's actually a police officer, and I think that they got a lot
wow, that's
busier.
cool.
And when they had their drummer, the music was a lot kind of heavier. Than what it is now. And I've actually played a few shows with Burn Band, and it's been interesting to see how they've evolved, and now they have like a cellist and a fiddle player.
Oh,
and
wow. I
sometimes
didn't even
Miguel
know
will
all
bring
this.
out his banjo, and it's such a cool show to see because they're all such fabulous musicians, and it's definitely exciting.
And tell us a little bit more about your band.
Oh yeah, so
The band I wasn't invited to.
Okay, a little backstory with Keegan's. I originally was going to put it in. It's fair. His grumbles are fair. I originally had a few months ago had tried to put a band together, and Keegan was involved. But then it started to look like I was going to be moving to Texas around this time. But then, so I was like, you know what? No, I'm not going to do it. It doesn't make sense.
It's because Keegan and I hadn't been over to see
yeah,
at work.
that's right.
what
Y'all
it-
had
I
stopped
know
coming.
it.
Well,
So you get punished,
Wolf
Keegan.
was gone. I
My
understand.
drum set is just chilling in my
dude.
apartment.
Word up, Wolf.
I'm
You
thinking
need to
about
listen.
selling it.
But I've been playing all the, I finally got a chance to go out to some shows because I am the least sociable person. Like, I work all the time, and if I'm not at work, I'm practicing, or I'm sleeping, or I'm just not moving because I'm just exhausted. And so I feel bad because I miss all these great shows from fellow musicians, and I finally went out to a really great one. It was Cole Washburn. If y'all ever get a chance, look him up. I mean, it's the kind of music that inspires other great music.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the final push because I'd kind of been mulling it around, and I talked to a few friends, or one of my friends who's a great musician, Christoph Murdoch. If he's hard to miss. He's a real big guy, and he typically plays in country punk bands, which I didn't know was
punk.
you
got me interested.
yes, he's
now.
in he's got another band. It's called Christoph and the Prairie Fire, and it's you wouldn't hearing the word country punk or punk country. I'm probably saying it wrong. You don't know what that means, and then you listen to him play, and you're like, I get it, and it's a really interesting experience, and it's a fun time.
Yeah, because I grew up in the '90s when the grunge was there, and it was all about some punk, and I'm still Pennywise and Minor
Pennywise.
Threat, and
Rancid.
Rancid's cool. Rancid's there.
And so I texted him. I was like, hey, do you want to start a more like folksy bluesgrass kind of old frontier, just this amalgam of this band? And he was like, yeah, that sounds great. And we got our drummer. He's really excited, and I got to meet him Monday, and that was really cool. And I got my wish list, or my wish. I wanted an upright bass. and it didn't look like we were going to get to have an upright bassist. And I text Christoph, and I was like, we can just get a regular bass so we have that. And he's like, oh, no, Audra, I didn't tell you. We've got our bassist. And so and it's a guy who, they're all professional musicians. And so I'm like a little kid. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Well, we also have another thing here we do. And
yes.
we ask all of our musicians on the spot to do us a little ditty. The last guy, he kind of just did a general little promo. Whatever you want to add into it, but we're looking for like a little theme song for a section that we do here, which is Beer of the Week.
Beer of the Week.
Beer. Oh, well, that's something that we share. We're beer fans.
We met you through beer.
We did, and
beer brought us together.
And beer brings so many great people together.
Please be reminded to drink responsibly.
Yes.
Yes.
And legally.
Legally, yes. We are big advocates for that.
And drink good beer
too. Beer of the Week.
Beer of the Week.
Keegan and Jeremy.
The Wire.
The Wire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And hold on. Let me get everything set up here. Let's go ahead and have you do your thing. Give you a little silence and then start away.
All right. Well, let's see what we can do with this. Okay. Oh, I gotta take these headphones out. That's weird. Sorry, guys.
It's all right.
Too many echoes. Jeremy and Keegan, beer of the week. Don't you wanna know this and that and that and this? Jeremy and Keegan, they're on the wire. Does that work for you?
That is awesome. That's totally awesome.
Great.
Now we have something to play every time we talk about the beer week. Jeremy, what is the beer of the week, by the way?
Bringing us to our next point, the beer of the week, I would have to say, is Sam Adams Oktoberfest.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
That is one of the best seasonal beers that Sam Adams comes out with.
I believe Oktoberfest is actually going on right now. The one in Choctaw, the big one we always have in Choctaw.
Choctaw, Oklahoma. Yeah, that's cool. I like the little towns because each one is kind of like a settlement of different ethnicities, and Choctaw does happen to be was it Czech?
German.
Is it German?
Yeah.
Okay, German. They have a strong German presence there,
That's neat.
So they are doing Oktoberfest. That's pretty neat. Isn't there a German restaurant?
Yeah, the old German restaurant, I believe it's called. I've been there a few times.
Royal Bavaria?
Royal,
not in Choctaw.
This one's in Choctaw.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
an old German restaurant. And the people who own that restaurant actually host the Oktoberfest in Choctaw.
Neat.
It's a big thing. I've actually never been, and I've lived in Choctaw 3 years. Never went.
Yeah, my father's actually from Hera, and I lived out there with him for a little while a couple of years back, and I never had a chance to go. Now Hera is home of the Polskis.
Ah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's a big, strong Polish.
I believe Prague,
presence.
Oklahoma is the Czechs.
Oh yeah, okay, that's right. Prague. It's Prague, okay. It's
What?
Prague and Miami.
Miami, Oklahoma.
It's okay,
It's
Jane.
Oklahoma.
I mispronounce so many names here, and Steven just looks at me and goes, Audra.
But we got to go back to the beer of the week.
Oh yeah, the beer of the week. man.
Oktoberfest.
Check
Samuel Adams.
It's a really good beer. It's flavorful. It's one of the seasonal beers that I like the best.
Fun fact, we have it on draft where I work.
That is cool.
Over at O'Connell's.
You do work at O'Connell's.
I do work at O'Connell's, and we do have it on draft.
That is off Campus Corner.
It is off campus.
But you got to be 21 because you
Yes,
guys do check IDs.
we-
I've witnessed that.
Yes, we do check IDs, and I'm the trainer, so I let each of my little trainees know we're following the law.
Yep. You ID me every time I go in. even though you know me. I could get younger.
Keegan's, he
It's
just
'cause
has
you
that
shave.
shady
When I
look.
shave my
Shave.
face,
When he shaves his
I'm
face.
like a 15-year-old kid.
But
I could
with-
go back to high school.
Well, you could. Well, so could I. Before for a time, I worked at one of the high schools, and the first week or so that I was there, I almost got detention twice from teachers who didn't know that I had started working there, and they just thought that I was a student just wandering the halls. And this is a true story.
Yeah, well, again, we just want to remind you that you do have to be 21 to drink in the state of Oklahoma. Drink responsibly. Don't get wasted. Don't do it anything like that intentionally. Don't be foolish or anything.
Oh yeah, the
also,
point is to enjoy it. You know.
Exactly, it's to have fun. It's to enjoy a good time with friends, without friends, whatever.
Make
Don't
friends.
drink alone, really.
You can make friends.
Sad, but that leads us to also our PDA of the Student Affairs Office. Offers
The Safe Ride
the
vouchers.
Safe Ride
Yeah,
vouchers. You can go pick them up. They're just west of the Union. If you come out where the studio is and go straight out those doors and you go across the little courtyard there, go downstairs to the left, you'll see the Safe Ride signs. Make sure to go pick them up, students, because...
But wave at us while you do it. So stare at us, look right, go down those hall.
go out the doors.
Go out the
across,
doors.
exactly. And get your Safe Ride vouchers because, what's better than saving a life and saving some jail time and saving some money that you could be spending having a good time with friends?
Oh, exactly.
$30 is worth more for a taxi cab than
and even
court dates and all
is
that.
A lot. If you've got a group of people, you can just split that. And that's what we did for Norman Music Fest. Had done a what is it called? A pub crawl kind of thing where they were raising money for Norman Music Fest. And, I had about 4 people that came with me, and we called a cab, to drive us there, and we got a cab home. And, I think we each spent $5 between us.
And honestly, if you're going to drink and you want to take a cab, I know from where I live, which is a couple miles away from Campus Corner, it's only like $8.
It's not bad.
Make sure you tip your driver because, they got to make a living too. They'd be more than happy to give you a ride there, and you can use your Safe Ride voucher to go home. Now, just be minded that if you do use your Safe Ride voucher, there generally is a wait because, taxis are limited here in Norman. So be prepared to call for your taxi before you're ready to go home.
Call about 30 to 45 minutes prior.
Just to be safe, if anything.
Be prepared.
When I turned 21, I was using the Safe Ride vouchers. And I never really called taxi cabs before. And you got to realize it's on the weekends. It's Norman. There's college kids everywhere. It's busy.
A lot of people are being safe.
You call them up. They ask you where you're at, where you need to go. Then they'll send a cab driver whenever available. And usually like half an hour later, that cab driver will call you, ask if you still need a ride. Then he'll head on that way. So make sure you figure all that out.
Be responsible. Pick up your free Safe Ride voucher. It doesn't cost you anything. It just costs you a walk over
And if
there.
you're not going to use them, give them to some people who might.
Students,
if you're walking around, give them to some kids out on the town.
Help somebody else out.
Because we really don't want to have to deal with any of any tragedies or any deaths of any sort or any fines or any jail time. Be responsible, kids.
Yeah, because what's better than saving your life? Saving innocent people's lives that you could possibly affect in a negative way. We have, you're listening to This and That. Up next, we got a little bit more information, and as usual, going through our list, and we'll see if Audra Yenny wants to stay with us. So, with that being said, here's a little bit of Queen.
Jeremy, you're getting better and better with the song choices.
Man, I like those fat bottom girls.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I had to throw that one in there.
Welcome back to This and That. I'm Keegan Meanle. Yeah. I'm Keegan Mina.
And I'm Jay Deal. Jeremy Deal.
And we got Audra Elizabeth.
Okay.
You listen to This and That on The Wire. You can listen to us online at wire.ou.edu. You can also listen to us on livestream.com/TheWireOU. But we would recommend you to download the TuneIn Radio app. You can download that on your iOS or Google Play Store device.
It's a great app.
Go to local radio. Go to internet only, and you should see us. We should be the first one there. Apparently, there's like 20 wires.
Yeah, and if not, just dig around, man.
Please. This is what we're asking. This is the only thing we really ask for all you viewers.
Keegan's kind of needy.
Please like our Facebook page. We have 3 more likes to 100 likes.
3 more likes.
We can do it. 3 likes.
Thanks to the people at Tinker Air Force Base for liking our Facebook page.
Cool.
Thanks, Dad, for telling people to do that.
And Island Girl Media, most of their employees listen to us. Hopefully, they'll continue to.
Yep. Our Facebook is facebook.com/ThisAndThatWire. This and That Wire. Not and, just the letter N. This and That Wire. You can also email us at thisandthatwire@gmail.com. You can even call us up if you want at 405 405-325-WIRE. That number again is 405-325-WIRE. We have Audra Elizabeth Yenny here at The Wire.
The Wire.
This and
The
that.
Wire.
She sang a song about Ophelia Green.
A great song.
Thank you.
I'm telling you. I was thinking, and I think I do know an Ophelia Green. Is that not weird?
That is kind of weird, which I actually got the name off of a silly Facebook post, and I just thought, hey, that name.
Well, I know a family with the last name Green, and if I'm correct, there was an Ernestine and an Ophelia.
Those are
I
some
might be
names.
wrong. But they were old. They're elderly. I believe they passed. But.
Oh.
I got it from my Wu-Tang name generator. Ophelia Green, that's my rapper name. Yo.
If any of you have ever seen Keegan, his rap name, it makes me giggle.
Ophelia Green. Ophelia. I kept thinking it was Cecilia.
No.
I kept thinking of Simon and Garfunkel.
No.
Cecilia.
I do love Simon and Garfunkel, though. But what's so funny is, when I was, I guess, not even 18, the summer after I graduated high school, I worked at a radio station, and it's such I forget that people, when they talk on the radio, they have this different voice. And so it was so I know Keegan and Jeremy personally, and it was such a
Hello.
yeah, they were so
we're on the radio.
it's just such a different thing to hear.
Yeah, it's a different sound.
And
definitely.
it just brought me back to being 17 again.
Yeah. We are.
So originally from Texas, right?
Yeah, originally from
And
Texas.
You grew up in Plano.
I grew up in Plano. I was actually born in a little town called McAllen, Texas.
McAllen
Literally, you
sounds
cross the
familiar.
street and you're in Mexico.
Ah, love
So-
Oh, one of those.
One of those.
You owe me $5.
Ah.
Probably.
I'm just kidding.
But it was an interesting move up to Oklahoma, because I think Texas and Oklahoma, like, they're
and
living in them. There's not much difference.
I ask everybody who ends up here in Oklahoma, how did you get here? Is there a story behind it?
Well,
Is there
like I
something
said,
interesting?
originally I went to
And it
Oklahoma
was-
City University.
music,
Yeah,
then.
it was for music.
and then
then
music is what's keeping you here because we love you and we don't want you to leave.
This is true. When I told Jeremy and Keegan that I was thinking about moving to Texas, they got so mad.
I know, man.
I
I was
mean-
upset. And it's not even like the Oklahoma-Texas rivalry or whatever Oklahoma has against Texas. No, it was
Yeah.
losing a really cool dear friend, and I don't think our drinking spot that we frequent would be as cool.
Yeah, I mean,
definitely
I've
would.
I
noticed.
mean, I like Amanda that works there now.
Oh, yeah.
And I love the other Amanda.
Oh, we
I
love
wish-
the other Amanda.
If you're listening.
We love you, Amanda. She was the reason. She was the glue
I
that kept
know.
us
She
together.
was the glue
I
that
know.
kept the bar together.
I mean, I've gone.
So what am I? Just a sack of
No, you're the
potatoes?
chewing gum.
I'm the
that-
chewing
You're the
They
paper.
put-
You're the
yeah.
paper. She's the glue, and we're the little I don't know. We're
Keegan's bad at metaphors. That's okay.
but yeah.
But yeah, no, I was gonna move down. All my family's down there, and not just my family. My sister's got three. Well, she's actually got four small little kiddos, and they're just the cutest little thing. And so I like getting to spend time with them. But I see them about once a month anyway, so that's my consolation.
So you came up here to school and you found you a home here. And
I did, and I'm
how,
actually.
how long was you here in school?
Well, it's been an interesting journey.
Hey,
We'll
man,
go with that. It's just, life happens.
I'm making a
and-
career out of it myself.
Exactly. Like I said,
Hopefully
so
I'll be 40 before I graduate.
Yeah, I'm 25, and like I said, I've got one class left, and I took astronomy, intro to astronomy, thinking, oh, it's an intro class, that won't be too bad, and boy, was I wrong.
How many classes have you had to drop?
That's a good question. Cause like I'm very picky, and I know that I'm a bit spoiled when it comes to classes. Like, I like taking online classes, because for me it usually takes me less time to learn the information if I'm just at home doing it myself. And then it also allows me to have kind of the schedule that I want, or work full time, or do music, which is part of the reason why I got the job at O'Connell. So I was, would be able to have a more flexible schedule, to be able to pursue this dream of mine. So the number of classes I couldn't tell you.
Well, it's funny you mention that, because our next segment is about 19 signs you're definitely going to drop this class.
Oh yeah,
We're using that magic website,
I
BuzzFeed.com.
love BuzzFeed.
Jeremy didn't know what BuzzFeed was for a while.
No, I couldn't think of the name. I knew what BuzzFeed was.
Steven teases me, and I go, "Oh, so I read this. Did you get it from BuzzFeed?" Yes.
This is 19 signs that you're definitely dropping in this class. This one's a no-go. Don't waste your time with a dud class when there are better classes to explore. The first one, the finals on the last day of finals week.
Oh God! I actually planned some of my classes around that because you got to look at what time it is and if it fits the rest, and then you look at the final.
That's funny. I've never. Again, most of my classes have been online, and so I just take online finals. But.
God, dude, I'm telling you, it's just that finals week.
Finals cumulative.
My least favorite one is probably this one next. The final is cumulative, so everything you learned over the year, rather than like you usually do like chapters and you take tests on chapters. It's this one's about everything you've learned, and you're like, I don't remember half the things I learned.
Knock on wood. Yesterday. I've never had a cumulative. I mean, not since high school. And I've been going to college for some years now, man.
Number 3, laptops are not allowed in the lecture.
You know how many times I've heard that? And then by the middle of the third week, fourth weekend, like people have their laptops out and the teacher ain't saying nothing.
I do not like the classes where I have to handwrite the notes. I can type really fast, so I'm like, why handwrite it when they're doing like PowerPoints? Because they go by so fast.
Especially the journalism classes. They're like, you need to learn how to take notes because in the real field, you're not going to. I'm like, dude, they have iPhones and you can record the conversation and then transcribe it later.
But see, I always do better when I physically take the notes.
If I could type faster, I would do it. Just the point of putting it down, it sinks into my head somehow.
And then you can like type it and then write it down.
Yeah, but I type fast, but there's something about that. Oh, I keep getting in trouble because I keep looking away from the mic. But I type fast enough, but I feel like I get distracted just having that screen there. And
I'm still point finger, like,
Yeah, Jamie's always like an old person, like, what the hell's a keyboard?
What the hell is this? Is this a touchpad?
Number 4, this one I don't. The course book is only available new, not used. I hate buying textbooks,
dude.
Especially if you're gonna drop the class in the end. You're like, well, I just wasted I can't even right now. I literally can't even.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, no. I luckily I've had a lot of classes, not all of them. I've had some where they're like, you need the new book, and and I have to go get the new book. But I've had a couple where they're like, buy the old version, and if there's a story or there's a case study that you need to read, we'll carbon copy it for you guys because we understand how we all used to, the professor's like, we used to be students too. And so save a buck, get the version before. It's the same thing, just reorganized.
And what's interesting is a guy in my German class just brought this up. What he does is he'll get the syllabus, go to the Bazell library, ask the people, hey, can I find this book? Apparently they have a lot of those textbooks in the library.
They're supposed to have a copy
the book,
of each one.
and he will scan them all, put them on a PDF file, and then print all the pages out. And I thought it was genius.
I don't know about printing them out. I would just keep them on a PDF.
Well,
but yeah, I get what you're saying.
For my German class, he sent me the PDF. So when the homework's due, I just take those pages, print them out, do the work, turn it in. I'm going to start doing that more often.
I mean, my first semester I went through the bookstore, but ever since then, Amazon all the way. There's maybe even a few.
And they're getting sneaky with the ISBN numbers. Like, okay, say my Spanish book for here at the university has a picture that is different from the Spanish book that you can buy online. On the front cover, it's different. But the thing is, it's the exact same version. It just has the OU symbol in the bottom corner, and the ISBN, the number that they give you on the syllabus, is different from the one online.
I never look it up by ISBN number. I look it up by the name of the book.
Yeah. What sucks too is the ones
I use my smartphone and scan it.
When they're typing something.
When they're OU specific books, OU specific books where you can only get it at this school, I hate those.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is
usually you have
it's the exact same book. It's just got the it's the OU cover instead of the other.
Number 5, the syllabus states your entire group will receive the same grade. I cannot stand it. I can't. I remember in 8th grade, big project, group project. I did all the work. And I went to the teacher and I said, listen, they didn't do anything. I did all of it. I don't want to present it. I don't want to do anything. I want to show you that I did it all. I don't want them to have any
Yeah,
great
see,
with that.
my minor is in business administration.
And Native American studies, from what I've heard.
That was weird. No, but it was it was weird because literally I checked my stats and they had put me in Native American studies, and I thought it was kind of racist and really was upset because I specifically, I mean, like, I'm a Native American. What is there? I'm traditional.
He never asked for it. They just put it in there.
They just threw me in there, like oh well, he's Native American. He wants to learn about. No, man, dude, come on. I know about my culture. I'm rich in heritage. But back to what I was saying. In the business administration minor, we have to take a lot of business classes, and in these business classes, there's a lot of group work. But the thing is they work this in, and they create the program to where at the end, each member rates each of the other individually and grades them, and that grade as a group, it means shows the teacher who did what. And that's your time, and it's all anonymous. So, group work, I don't mind it anymore, but it's just trying to get everybody in one group to get the project done is the hardest part.
And it's hard to split things up a lot.
Exactly, because, not everybody has the same classes.
Like my freshman year was the last. I hate group work. I just don't like it because I you fall into that problem that Keegan, you ran into. The last group project I did, I was a freshman, and in my class was a lot of juniors and seniors, and they took all the things and they broke it up. But since I was a freshman, they were like, we don't want you to do anything because we don't want you to mess it up. And I was like, well, okay. It's my first class of college. And then at the end, of the whole thing, we're asked to, what did you do in this? And they they wouldn't let me do anything. They thought that because I was a freshman. So I failed the whole thing. I tried. I wanted to be a part of this thing. And it just was, it was awful.
Sorry to hear that.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
It's life.
Number 6, tardies will be considered absences.
This is not a problem for me because no matter what, I'm always early.
What I can't stand are the teachers that say if you miss a certain amount of classes, your grade letter will drop a letter.
Well, if they didn't do that, you know how many people wouldn't show?
Well, the thing is,
I wouldn't show.
It should be if you don't show up, that's on you. Yeah. Unless you have a reasonable excuse, you bring doctor's note. That's fine. But if there's a lecture like 3 hours long and it has nothing to pertain to anything, why should you be penalized if you're paying for the classes?
I've had the same argument with Steven. I feel like having attendance be part of your grade, I feel like it's okay, not the point of the class. The point of your grade should reflect what you learned.
Okay, I get it. If it's going to hurt your grade for not being there, it should help your grade for being.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People, if you're there every single day, if they're going to punish the people that are, whoa, what the? I'm sorry, I was looking at that. Okay, if they're gonna, but you see what I'm saying. If they're gonna punish you for not being there, they should reward you for being there.
Yeah, and I feel like we're paying for these classes to get the education, and I don't like going to class, and that's that's on me. But if I'm getting, it happened in one of my classes. I got all A's on all of my tests because I knew I was like, okay, I've got to go to these, but because I didn't show up, I got a D in the class. And I was like, don't even give me an A. I got A's on all the, on all the exams and everything. So clearly I've mastered the subject. You're giving me a D for the class. That doesn't accurately reflect what I.
At Rose State, my freshman year, I took a history class, and I'm a history minor, and I love history. And I got an A in the class, but the teacher only allows you 3 days missed absences, and I missed 5. And for each additional day that you miss, you lose a letter grade. So I got a C in the class, though I mastered the material.
It's frustrating.
I mean, why should I be penalized if I know the material, but I wasn't there?
Up top, Keegan.
High fives for everyone. High five, Jer. Fist bump. Okay, whatever. Number 7.
Made it explode.
And there could be a pop quiz at some point, depending on the professor's discretion. That one.
That's every class.
See, here's the thing. If you miss class and there's a pop quiz, that's on you.
Yeah.
I understand that.
I'll get that. Yeah, I agree.
I don't like the pop quizzes where they have a lecture, like a PowerPoint slide, and they're talking and talking. You write all these notes, and it's everything in the book you have to read. Nothing that pertains to anything they were teaching you. That's what makes me mad. I've had classes when none of the material that they've been talking about, but you actually have to go and read and find.
You have
Yeah,
to
because they're
read,
like, that
in
was on
school.
your reading assignment. And they don't even tell you, like, it's in the syllabus, but they don't even cover it because they want to see if you're going to do it.
Well, I think in that situation you should probably read, but like
Mm-hmm.
that, like I said, I like doing the work outside, and on my own, which is why I take online classes.
Number 8, this course actually doesn't count towards your degree requirements like you thought it
The
did.
most dropping.
Everything at Rose. That actually taught me everything that I know.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember that we talked about that last
I'm
week.
telling you.
Almost every class we're in right now, we've taken at Rose State.
Yeah.
Like we're in the intro to video production, which is like a TV studio. You're learning how to do all that stuff.
I took that class.
Coil cable.
Oh, high five. Yeah, coil cabling, do all that, and like Jeremy and I are kind of helping everybody else. We're almost like
No,
TAs.
which is cool. No, I mean, like,
I enjoy it, but
I think some of the other students enjoy having two people in there that know what
Know
they're
what's
doing.
up.
what makes me and Jeremy mad is when we graduated from Rose State with our degrees.
None of them.
Our junior year here, the first year we were here, we were in an intro class because they had all these prerequisites that we could not
It was
enter,
just theory too, because
and it was like
none of the hands-on stuff.
we were the oldest. Everybody was a freshman except us.
Yeah,
and it was
that's
like,
sad.
well, we know the information. Why do you have all these rules when we know the information?
And I think those rules are for the people who don't know.
Exactly.
Y'all.
And try to
There
skip
should be
forward.
some kind of like.
Well, I mean,
way
and
you
if
can
we
buy
clip
it
out of
around.
and if you clip out of there, you still got to pay for those credits doing basket weaving or whatever else. Some
you
sort
get
of elective.
credit hours for clipping out.
Really?
Yeah. Like literally, if I take this biology
know.
clip
I wish we
test,
could
I'm
clip out.
done.
I mean, but mind you, I
My
like
mother's
it
like, "Have you
because
studied for your test?"
yeah, because some of these classes kind of give it like an easy. It's just you just got to worry about the paperwork and what they want. The quizzes are cool and nice, but I can remember when I was these other kids' position where I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like some of the terminology I had problems with.
Number 9, I don't really understand this one. There's a word in the class title that you literally can't define. I've never really had that problem.
That's a sign that you're going to drop the class,
Yeah.
man, because you're like,
But why would you
like I can
sign
think
up
of words
for a
like
class?
analytical theologists
somebody-
of modern day
yeah, somebody told you it
athleticism.
was easy.
Oh.
Somebody's
yeah.
like, oh, take the snickerdoodle.
Number 10, there are mandatory office hours. I've never had that problem. I've never had a class where
Dude,
I had
you-
mandatory office hours.
Professor Lynn, man, you got to go meet with him. That's
Oh, is that mandatory?
Yeah, he wants to make sure that you got an idea of. And I actually met with him the
crap.
other day.
I don't remember what day I'm supposed to go now.
Well, I met with him the other day, and it was pretty cool. It was almost like a father son talk.
Oh,
He pat you on the
know.
back and gave you a lollipop.
that's not how father son.
Is
talk
that what
goes.
your father?
That's how That's how doctors
You
go.
telling off on some family tradition? No.
No.
Well, okay. I mean, but that's the thing is, it was pretty cool because it was like counseling
Yeah.
that was really cool because it's an eye-opening experience and a reminder that you are ultimately going to leave this place and you better have a plan and you better, you know what I'm saying? It was a really
do
good
like
talk.
that. So long as it's
It was a
not
good-
like excessive, I think that it's
And it
good
was a
because
one-time.
Yeah. So I think that that's actually I appreciate that.
I
When
think
they're
more should do it. More professors should.
so long as they're doing it, for the reason of actually having a conversation with you, checking and seeing where you're
Yeah,
at,
because
and
I
not
was
just
kind of like, what is this
Yeah.
about? And come to find out, it was a really great talk.
That's cool.
Good.
I just looked on I totally forgot I have it on the 29th.
You'll enjoy it.
I hope
It's
Lynn's
pretty
not
good.
listening. Number 11. The professor discusses a dress code.
No, I've
I've
never
never
had
had that
I've
problem.
never had that.
I know.
That was a high school thing.
Yeah,
Not really
Wow.
they
Yeah.
let me wear my booty shorts.
That's,
Yeah, I had. They didn't
That's
care about
offensive.
You said,
Jeremy.
no shoes, no shirt, no service. I just walked in
Yeah.
swimming trunks.
I remember at Rose there was like a couple of classes where you could literally bring, like your pajamas. Like people were coming
Oh,
in
yeah.
with house shoes and
I did that all the time in high school.
ready to sleep.
I think I did that a few freshman classes. I was like, especially like those early ones. I was like, nope.
I had a sociology class. It was like 7 in the morning, and it was, or no, it was 7:30, and it was literally it was a bunch of movies. Like he skipped over the whole brain thing, and it was psychology.
okay, yeah,
It was
so
psychology.
psychology
Skipped
is
over the
brain.
whole brain thing, and like just let us watch movie. It was
My intro to psych
I
class
really liked it. It
was
was cool.
we did watch a few movies, but it was
Good nap time.
my it was my freshman year, and is what actually got me interested in psychology. My professor was this brilliant man, but it was almost this like his behavior, his his personality was almost as if he walked out of Mayberry, you know. And I know that, but like he would get off on tangents, and so we learned so many different things that were outside of what was actually on the syllabus.
I love professors
but
like that.
But it was informative, and it was
like
so
life.
interesting, and it was still within the realms of psychology, but it wasn't just your average intro to psych class.
I had
you
a
could
good
tell he was so
intro class like
it
that.
It was great. I loved it.
Number 12. The room is like super hot or like super cold.
Adams Hall, man.
Adams Hall. I never had a class in Adams Hall.
Oh, dude, thank God, because it is cold. Like, we're up on the 3rd level, and it was cold, so she decided to adjust it. And what happened was, it's not like you can flick the heater cold. It's when you turn it up, the heater comes on. So in the middle of the class, like, it starts getting hot, and people are sweating. And she's like, is it hot in here? And it's kind of tiered. So, like, the people in the back were really
just,
hot.
like,
yeah,
sweating.
we're all, dude.
I was
And
just like,
I'm telling you, it was crazy. That just happened the other day.
oh wow.
Yeah, so I advise,
here.
even in the middle of the summer, bring your hoodie.
Sweaters are good. Oh,
Because you can always put more.
for all of my
clothes on.
classes, I would always bring a sweater, but I get cold anyways, and so it was just
Most girls do. And
Yeah.
that's why I said the girls were freezing, and then by the middle of the class, they're like burning up. So
13. You looked around and no one is hot. I had that problem this summer. I took a summer class, German. 7 guys. That was it. It was me and 6 other guys.
it was a German sausage.
What? Don't say that. We looked around the first day and didn't say anything.
where's the beep?
And then
There you go.
Didn't say anything.
I'm just kidding. We beeped you
whispered
anyways.
it.
I,
We
I
beeped
was,
you
I was
after
real
the-
bummed because the first day of school I got kind of like parted my hair and I was like, oh yeah,
Aw,
I'm
you
gonna look
all
fresh.
dapper.
And I'm looking around, there were like 6 other guys, and we became really good friends. We talked and we hung out.
We're
and stuff.
best buds.
Went on picnics.
But that was very disappointing. However, that's the only class that really had that problem. All the other OU classes,
Man,
thanks OU. I love
exactly, dude. I mean, and I almost feel perverted because of the age difference, but I'm telling you, I put myself in the mindset of a young 20-something. I'm like, man, dude, you guys are blessed.
One of my good friends, he
Eye candy, everyone.
he's taught for several years, and that's one of my students when I worked at the high school. But yeah, and I'm actually talking about one of his teachers. Worked as a teacher and is now going back to law school. And to look at him, you wouldn't know that he's gonna get mad at me, but he's in his late 40s, but you wouldn't know it, like, to look at him, and I always forget that he's as old as he is. But he was talking to me about this. He's in these classes, and they're just children. Well, compared to, how, his age and everything, but Jeremy, he identifies with that, all
Yeah.
these younger people.
I mean, you got to give props where props is due.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
people are good looking. They're good looking. I mean, I luckily I go home to the best good looking girl ever. So I have
That's good.
that. But you can't.
It's still nice to have things to look at.
Exactly. The eye candy is that exactly what it is. It's eye candy. It's
Exactly.
It's a treat for the eye.
It is.
14. Oh, sorry. A little loud. A little loud. The professor says lecture slides will not be posted online.
That's the worst.
I've never had a professor say that, but I've had plenty of professors just not post them
Yeah.
online. And I don't get it. We had one professor, I don't want to say any names, but who did that.
Can you give us a class?
It was you're not going to get the lecture slides until right before the test. And I didn't get that. They wouldn't
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
yeah, it was a certain cohort's friend. Like somebody we
Oh,
worked.
yes,
you
yes, I know
remember?
exactly
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. And I never got the purpose of that. It's like I could have been studying this whole time. Why didn't
Yeah.
you give it to me? Why are you going to wait till right before the test?
No one's paying attention to you, Keegan.
Ah,
He's waving to everybody and
Waving.
nobody's
no one listened.
it almost looks like they're intentionally looking away.
They're like, this ginger.
Gingerbeard.
15. Students in the past have been surprised to receive low grades in this class. Yeah, man, I got like a D. Like, what the heck? I'm an A student.
Is that your burnt out look?
I'm surprised at some of the grades I got because of the simple fact that I knew the information, but the wording on the quizzes were.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and I get okay. You don't want to give an obvious answer and an unobvious answer, and then 2 close answers because that makes it too easy to pass a quiz. But the thing is you don't have to put in these long, drawn-out explanations. Keep it short.
Yeah.
Yeah. Certain professor you and I both know quite well who would make us answer the questions in his own terms. Even though if you said it right,
he
but
was
you
a
just didn't say it
Nazi.
the right way.
He was like a grammar Nazi.
He was like a test
technical
Nazi.
term Nazi. But he's my favorite Nazi.
Oh yeah,
I'm telling
Wow.
you. He's like a Nazi father of mine that I never.
He's not
had.
even German. He's like Scandinavian or something.
Yeah.
16. And I quote this: "The grade for your rough draft."
Yeah, rough drafts don't need grades.
No.
I mean, maybe like that you did one.
Yeah, saying that you did it,
Yeah.
graded for completion.
Having it in on time or early should be your grade.
I think
You know
so.
what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's a rough draft. It's not your.
Like,
Yeah, if you're not
Jeremy and
gonna
I
have it
just
there.
we just had to present a rough cut of a video. We presented them. That was great. They weren't graded based on performance.
It was simply that you did it. This one, next one, I will drop. So
It's a
fast.
5-person class, and somehow your arch enemy is one of them. Have you had that problem before?
You know, I've had problems similar. Oh, I've had problems.
Look at the mic.
I'm sorry. I've had problems similar to it, but there are classes now. Like I know there are a few people that if I was in a small classroom setting and they were in it, I would leave. I mean, I've had social situations like this where they just show up and I'm like, all right, guys, peace out. I'm not doing this.
Wow.
Well, I don't want to deal with, all the drama that's going to, I'm not going to, cause it. I'm not going to get in a fight. I'm not going to cause problems, but I just don't, there's certain people you don't want to be around.
I've had this experience where it was like, I not necessarily had an arch enemy, but kind of sort of made. I mean, like, okay, you say your point of view, or a lot of times I play devil's advocate, even if I don't believe.
I don't like those people.
I say something, and then somebody takes it that I truly believe that.
Yeah.
And there's like this underlying tension in class discussion of like my point's right and you're wrong, and it's like, dude, that's not even a point. I just brought it up for everybody else to think about, and then that person ends up in my group, and then we start having to do that, and the first couple of days suck, but then by the end, we're the best friends, we respecting each other again.
We're three best friends.
Yeah, I've had that problem having an arch enemy in like 15 of my classes.
As he
he's sitting to my left right now.
Don't say
Man,
that.
we've had so many classes together.
I know. We're gonna do this thing. Actually, you'll graduate like a semester or two before me. It's because I'm drawing it out with this Spanish that I just am not
You'll
getting.
pass Spanish too. I have faith.
I'm
in
having
that.
the same problem with German right now.
No, I'm really thinking about dropping it and then going back to Spanish 1, dude. Because it's the vocabulary. I
Just
don't know.
make flashcards. Get a Spanish tutor.
Oh, man, I can't afford one. I have to run these bills by my fiance.
That's very wise.
Exactly. And she's like, okay, well, if you're having to take a loan out for school this semester, my first loan, congratulations.
duck.
I made it to my senior year without having to take a loan out. If you have to take a loan out, well, then you need, how are you going to afford a tutor?
Exactly.
To pay $30 an hour?
Don't they have free
2 times a
tutors
week.
here?
Yeah, they do.
They should have free tutors
I think
here.
they do. Ask your Spanish teacher.
I did, and this is the one she gave me. And
Well,
it's one of those situations. It's
or you could
it's
just
unbearable.
get like a Spanish clet book. That's what I always do if I have trouble with a subject. I get like a.
I'm
clet book.
getting the grammar stuff. I just don't know when she's speaking in class. Like, I can't get the participation points because I'm like, she's asking a question, I'm answering in English.
This is what you should say. ¿Qué? Like what?
¿Cuál es tu nombre?
Number 18. We're almost at the end here.
Almost.
This one, I hate this one. Class starts at 8 a.m.
Ooh.
Hey, you're gonna have to post this because some of those little
Yeah,
gifs are pretty
they-
cool. Like that little cat.
They got
just-
little gifs.
with
Is
each
that
one
what
of
they're
these-
called?
yeah,
GIFs?
GIFs.
I call them GIFs. Or
GIFs.
GIFs. I don't know anything.
It's true.
He's got a little
Little-
cat crawling into a sofa.
all of it goes in, but its tail. It's like sticking out.
Class at 8 a.m. I hate class at 8 a.m.
I
Especially when I
avoid
lived-
8 a.m.
When I lived in Chalktown, I had to drive to Rose State. I was like, man, I don't want to.
I could see that as a young 20-something or just a teenager, not because I don't think I can't say that I'm not ever a morning person, but to me, like, I'd rather get my classes done with and be done with school by noon than to like.
You've got other stuff that you've got to do.
Well-
But thinking as a freshman, their life.
No,
their,
there's other stuff I can do. Like, I can spend the afternoon doing my homework. Then when all my friends are out of class, then I'm ready to go out. I got my homework done. I'm ready to go.
ready to party.
Yeah, I'm ready to go party. Ready to bring the party on.
We're now down to the final one. This was an interesting one. And your friend just chatted you about the awesome class they're taking down the hall. Yeah, there's always that one time when you're like in a really, really, really crappy class.
I think we're in the cool one, and other people tell us they went in ours in a certain class.
Yeah,
that we
this
had
year
semester.
I can't argue. I'm loving school this year.
Great.
With the exception of one class. However, like last semester I was in, I was way over my head, and people were telling me, "Oh man, I'm in this awesome class. Like, teacher doesn't take attendance. He's so chill.
Mm-hmm.
He's interesting. You know, the tests they're not too hard and stuff like that." And I mean, yet again, I don't know. 19 different things.
I do got to say though that this year has been pretty awesome, and
I mean,
I think maybe my math classes at Rose, but when I was doing the basics, like I had so many people who were like, "Oh, you should have took so and so. You should have." And I'm like, the guy I got talks like Ben Stein. It's cold.
I had
it's
one of
in
those.
the evening, and like you just want to. I mean, the more they talk, the more your eyes are just
Jeremy.
closing.
Over at
Jeremy.
at OCU, I had a professor, and oh my gosh, it made me so angry because I was so excited for this class. It was Intro to World Religions, and I've always found religion interesting, all kinds. And so when I got here, I took I took a world religion class here, and it was one of the best classes I ever had. I wish I could remember the professor's name because just was great. But this professor, he was this tiny little man, and he'd wear these suits, and he would wear like Adidas sandals with socks with his suits, and he would stand up at the front of the class and read from his texts. That is how he would teach the class. He would sit up in the front and read word for word from the handouts that he was giving us. And it was mind-numbingly painful. So I went in, I got the packet, I signed in, and I left. And I got, I aced the class because I did I studied the material, but I was so upset because I wanted to learn. I wanted to be there.
You go to the classes for that interaction between professor and student.
Exactly.
I'm taking this class called The History of the Jewish Involvement in Hollywood, like how Hollywood got started and how the film moguls like, Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and like Fox, how that all started. And the professor is amazing. He gives you great insight on the history and the lifestyle, and we have like some silent film. We watch some silent films and analyze them, and like it's very like you don't get bored, you don't get sidetracked.
Yeah.
He's not dry. He keeps repeating things, and you start to memorize them.
Yeah, classes where you're because like I said, I don't like going to class, but there are certain classes that I, even if I'm not going to the others and I'm studying, that I will go to because the teachers are so good, and they want to interact with you. They want to make sure you're getting the information, and they want to make it something that's, it's passionate, it's useful for your time, and at the end of the semester, every year he would, quote unquote, forget to hand out the evaluations, and it happened every semester. So it wasn't just like this one-time thing. He would conveniently forget to hand out the professor evaluations.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is it's always a hit and miss with professors. It's either you love them, you hate them, or you're just like, oh, that's okay.
I hated this one.
I wish we had some breaking news music because this just in, we have 100 likes.
What?
Yay!
I knew we could do it today.
We could do it. We have 100 likes.
That's
Yep,
so
100
great.
likes.
I want to congratulate the 5 people who liked our page today. Okay, we have first one, Anissa Jones Geiger.
Hey, thank you, Nessa.
Thank you. Aaron Skrok, S-K-R-O-K.
Aaron, it doesn't matter what your last name is, you rock.
I think this is Skylar Baxter.
Skylar.
Or it's
You.
Shyler. I'm pretty sure it's
Shyler.
Skylar.
Probably Skylar.
Skylar, you rock even more.
It's very true. You could also, if you wanted, while you're on the Facebooks, go over to my page. It's facebook.com/Audra Elizabeth Music. And the link is on, I believe, the Wires page, or the This and That page.
And I also just posted a link to the list that we had, so maybe you guys can check out some of those pictures. That was the reasoning for a couple, 1 or 2 Holts in conversation because the gifts
They
were
were so cute.
kind of off the wall and cute at the same time.
So 2 weeks in, we already got 100 people who liked our Facebook page. We're making
That's
progress.
so exciting.
We've had some great guests, and we have more lined up.
Yes, next week we're going to have Travis Brazil.
Brazil.
He is from the band Trash Pop, which is a local punk band here in the city. He worked with me and Jeremy over at the Red Hawks. He'll be here next week. But we need the spot for the following week filled. We need September 24th. If you are a musician, you're interested in coming on our show, if you play guitar, if you play keyboard, if you play like the electric
Triangle.
that too.
That's me.
If you
That
play
is
the
mine.
woodblock, if you play the
It's
woodblock,
shocking.
and you have like a woodblock album, like the Metronome album, come on the show. We really want to talk. We'll have some laughs. We'll
It's
talk
a
about
great
cool things.
opportunity for people to know what you're doing and what you've been up to.
Exactly.
I mean, apparently we have 100 people that like us, so there's 100 people that will get information
Get to
about
hear.
what you're up to.
And more is better, from what I've heard.
Exactly.
More is better.
So were you nervous
Okay.
coming on the show? Have you?
I actually was, because I've never been on any kind
But
of
you,
radio show.
I mean, you've been here, so you knew where to go.
Oh yeah, no, I knew where to
That's
go.
what I'm worried about next week. I don't know if my friend's going to be able to figure out how to get here, where to park.
Oh,
or-
I just parked behind work. I shouldn't have done that, but I was like, I gotta park somewhere and walk over here.
I mean, that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I'm pretty sure Jeff wouldn't like that if other people did
A
that.
stash.
I'll move it, maybe.
You got to work today?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to come in and see you because
I think I might
I'm
too.
kinda hungry.
Yeah,
man.
I'll be
What's the
taking.
special today?
Today is.
Wait, today. Oh,
So-
let me guess. Hold on. Today is
Today's
Wednesday.
Let's see if
Dun, dun,
you
dun,
can.
dun,
Is that chicken fried steak day?
You're so close.
Is
Oh.
it chicken fried
It's
sandwich?
chicken fried chicken. Wednesdays we have chicken fried chicken, and it is
Can we get
literally
that
my.
grilled?
If you
No,
wanted to.
They don't come like
I mean,
that.
you
Curly
can get
fries?
a
It's not
grilled
part of
chicken.
it, but it's not part of this. Okay.
You could get grilled chicken with the sides, but yeah, today's Wednesday's my favorite day at work because I get to eat chicken fried chicken with gravy and mashed potatoes and corn.
It's the
and-
gravy and mashed potatoes that makes
Oh,
it.
they're
makes
so,
it so
good, and it's all handmade, and so it's like it's freshly made, and it's
That's
so
a,
good.
I'm hungry.
Oh
I'm,
man.
now
I really-
I'm hungry too.
I still want pasta though.
Well, we don't really have pasta, but yeah, I'll be taking tables till 4, and then I'm training people after that.
Training people,
Yeah.
obtaining the knowledge of the bartending and waitressing world.
No, giving the knowledge.
Well, it's almost that time, but right now it's weather time. So again, today we have a high of 90. It looks like a partly cloudy, low of 60. 20% chance of precip. Winds out of the northwest at 16 miles per hour. Thursday looks like our high is going to be 79. Still partly cloudy with a low of 61. With a 10% chance of precip. Winds coming out of the northeast at 11. Friday, it looks like we're going to have a better chance for showers, about a 40% chance. Hopefully that might go up and make the weather even cooler because it's only going to get to a high of 63 degrees. Saturday, it's going to be mostly sunny, but partly cloudy, whatever you want to say, with highs of 72, lows of 56, with 0% chance of rain. And
Good.
Sunday, it looks like we might be close to 80 degrees for a high and a low of 64.
Don't forget also, guys, all the students here, volleyball starts tonight at 6. We're playing Cal State Northridge for the Nike Invitational. We're playing all this week. Also, Saturday's football day, 7 o'clock, OU versus Tennessee. We'll be there. You won't see me. You may